that it doesn't even matter that you've done it because you've lived through it, and therefore you bring that lived experience to every single conversation, because we as human beings are not only everything we have ever done, but we're also what we choose to do in the moment, and we're also what we plan to do in the future.
Rich, hey, have you seen the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once?
No, I've been recommended it before, and I haven't watched it. By the way, the camera is rolling.
I'm not on it, right?
No, you're just on my phone.
Okay.
No,
you need to see that movie.
No, I do. Well,
So
I'm glad you said
beautiful.
something, cause yeah.
What are you doing? I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
No, I can.
I wasn't speaking. I was grabbing a blanket.
Well, then, guess what? That's why I couldn't hear you, my love. That's all I needed to know with the information.
You're so smart.
I'm not smart. Here's the thing. I think that, because I've thought about this before, there are smart motherfuckers out there. I'm not really smart. It's more of the fact that, okay, this is what I think. When I was very young, I've had very, very strange experiences my whole entire life. Like, I think I met the devil. I think that there's a lot of shit that's gone down, Penny. And I would tell you, oh, I called you Penny like your mom.
Yeah, that's great. I met the devil once. His name was Christian.
I met the devil, but it was like there's this old school thing, and it was called Tony, Orlando, and Dom. Okay? And I grew up with that, and it was very 1970s, and this poor man, he had a very sad life. Anyway, he was Tony, Orlando, and these two very hot, sassy little black chicks were Dawn. And all I remember is meeting the devil and Dawn on a playground, which I find interesting. But again, here's the thing, is that I think that we're conditioned that when we see something that we don't understand, it's like when people are watching something and they're like, oh my God, that's evil. And it's like, it's not evil. You don't understand it. So you projected that it's evil.
Another way, to bring back to this point that I brought up earlier, we only can see the truth in and of itself when we accept the fact that there are things that we cannot change, and we accept the fact that there are things that we do not understand.
I think it's like you have to let go of you'll hear all this stuff, like fucking hippies will say this, and then you'll have this group say this, and this group say this. It doesn't matter what word you put to it. It's like angels, aliens, all this shit. That's why everybody gets so up in arms, and it doesn't matter what word. It's like a rose by any other name still smells as sweet, right? It doesn't matter what word you put to it. It's that if you allow yourself to admit the fact that we are only human, and we will be forever. If you read those books that I gave you, basically, whatever you are, that's what you are. Do you know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying. The essence of life is to... The essence of life is to be neither cocky nor afraid.
I think it's to be just... the fucked up thing is that I can say it all day long and it makes sense on a level, and then we're still in this third dimension, or fourth dimension, or fourth density, depending on who you are going to talk to.
Yeah. So
that's just a better word.
For context, I was just bringing this up to my channel because they don't understand this yet. This is the first time I've mentioned it, but uh, in the book, the raw material, raw spelled R-A, Ra is an alien species that has been on Earth and dwelling around Earth since 11 centuries ago. And they exist in the 6th density, which means that in essence they are millions of years more evolved than us in an emotional, social, complex kind of way that they can.
What was the first thing you said? Because it was. What did you say? What was the very first thing you said about it? That they.
This so was it this was it the social emotional complex thing, or was it or was it the millions of years, or was it the 11 centuries?
It's say the very beginning. Do you have this down, or were you just like off the cuff when you talked that?
I off the cuff did, but it's directly from the book. I wasn't citing the book, but yeah.
I can't remember. I think that Raw is not that's what it is. Raw. Thank you, my universe people. Raw is not a species.
Oh, I didn't know that. What are they?
A collective.
Okay.
Basically what's going to come down to is that this is a collective of consciousness, okay?
Yeah.
That comes through this one. I think it's supposed to be an alien archetype. I'm not sure. I believe that it's that comes through, and a human archetype. Correct? These are our what is that called when you play a game or whatever? That our avatar.
Yeah, like how in Hinduism, whatever, Krishna embodies himself as Vishnu and Rama.
Correct. I believe though that especially about those guys, how they were always blue and they were always just. That would completely make sense if they were from a planet farther away from Earth. Anywho, what are we talking about?
I want to bring it back. I want to bring it back to this. The title to this video is called Storytime: Code Yellow, and what it's about is time dilation, dreaming, in higher densities. So I'm gonna talk about my dream experience this last sleep cycle that I had. Basically, I was in a void. I slept for 5 hours straight, and in this 5 hours, I was just in a void of perfect peace, presence, acceptance, and kindness, and that's all that it was. And when I woke up, I had found that I had peed myself.
Happens to the best of us, baby.
So what I took it to mean is during the time, and Kelly has a little bit of experience with this, during the time that I was in the sleep realm or whatever, I was actually in a different place in space-time or whatever it is, a different density. My body was so light, or my soul even.
Okay, so you have to remember, as you get deeper into this whole situation about the raw thing, there are different densities, but within these densities, dude,
okay,
are an endless amount of different universes. Like, this shit never ends.
Okay, well listen. If you look on a microscopic and then a subatomic and then a quantum level, there is always stuff that gets smaller and smaller and smaller that we don't understand. But what were you trying to say?
I have no clue.
It's you said you were talking about within the densities, the different densities. It goes deeper.
Multiple. There's an unlimitless amount of universe. There's so many. So, okay. I always like to try to explain it like this. So, you know about cryptids and things like this. Of course you do.
Sure.
Like rakes and things like this. Okay. So, I'm amazed by certain cryptids because like Bigfoot and stuff like that. We've already touched on this. Now, the rake. This son of a bitch never even fucking existed.
So I don't personally know what a rake is, and I don't know. Kelly's phone might have died, or something. I'm gonna call her over Instagram video, see if she picks up.
On you, my love.
So you said that you're still not visible on the camera. You're off screen for them.
Okay.
You were talking about the rake and how it never existed.
It did not exist. Okay, so we had never heard about this. Can you hear me now?
I can absolutely hear you.
Yes. I am the coolest person in the world. It never existed. And so there is a school of thought that the reason that it exists now, that certain cryptid people believe that it does. I don't know. I've never seen one. I don't want to. I have a weird video, though. I have a weird sound clip that you should listen to. It's fucked up. Anywho. So, the thought is that this was created on the dark web, and because so many people believed in it.
I've heard of this concept before. It's
a collective. We are creators. I gotta go in the front. I'm gonna cut you off in the back.
We are. And that's the scariest thing of all, is because it speaks to something either primordial or just simply like, human nature-y. Like, we as humans have, like you said, we have the ability to create stuff, and therefore we have just like the Salem witch trials or like other mass hysteria events, like we have the ability to create any monster of our imaginations just by believing in it enough, and if enough of us believe in it.
What is that? Isn't it in Harry Potter or something like that? Or there's some
there's something just like that in Harry Potter or Fantastic Beasts or something.
Like, it's real if you believe it's real. And you put your intent into it. So put your back into it. So if you put your back and your intent into it.
What if I put my butt into it?
Put your back and your intent into it. Intent is very important.
You're right.
It's all about pretty much what it's all about. And what sucks is that a lot of people don't understand it. They don't understand that if we're made in His image, or if you go past and you go to like the forbidden books of the Bible, they were made in their image. Their image. Wah, 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 wah.
Wah, 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 wah. So here's the thing about faith. Faith, you're not supposed to
beautiful.
It is beautiful, but you're not supposed to overthinking it because overthinking it ruins it for everybody. I think it ruins it for everybody.
So here's the thing. This one time I had this out-of-body experience, but I don't know what I can say on here, but I did, yes, I did do acid.
I don't believe
And-
you. No, continue.
And yes, Finian, I did do nitrous oxide.
Oh!
So, we were at this party. We threw parties all the time, but we always threw our parties with a lot of intent. Because we always threw our parties with love and stuff. Because we were doing a bunch of acid, man. So, what was I talking about? Oh my god, my brain just left.
Here, wait, let me tell you a quick story. Maybe it'll come back. The Buddha
Okay.
was a prince who left the castle, and his father was doing anything in his power not to have the prince, who was prophesied to be this being coming from like a higher dimension that he saw the world for what it absolutely was, and he became a great spiritual leader. Basically, he saw what was happening in the world and how it was happening, the human nature of it all, and the actual reality of sickness, disease, and dissatisfaction. And he said, I can no longer pretend. I will just be who I'm supposed to be. And he did.
Buddha was great. The Buddha also came out and said, it's not bad to have things. You can have things. Things are fucking awesome. Look at my things.
That's
You see my
awesome.
things?
So, yeah, the Buddha did not believe in asceticism, and he did not believe in indulgence. He preached the middle way.
He believed that if you had stuff, that it was, you had to share it. It's okay to have things,